Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it's a therapy session. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know. So I just want to say I love everybody. I truly do. I love everybody. I got love in my heart, and I pray for people. I believe that innocence should be protected, elderly should be protected, children should be given an opportunity to wonder and dream and be protected in the process of wondering and dream. Meaning, I think there should be some balance between teaching young kids about grown-up life and a balance between allowing them to have their childhood and not be worried about grown-up problems. That's not what I'm here to talk about. That's actually a disclaimer, because I think my point of view leaves me at a disadvantage as it pertains to what it is that I have on my mind. And the reason why is because I'm not knowledgeable. So when someone speaks of things that they're not knowledgeable, you have to say a bunch of I love yous and a bunch of good old-fashioned, hey, I'm not a bad guys, before you open your mouth, because the ignorance will come out. But I think the only way the ignorance can't remain is if conversations are had, right? So, you know what I'm saying? If I don't know what I'm going to say, I don't even really know what I'm going to talk about, but yeah, we're going in together. Let's do this. All right, so Kanye West said something this morning. I don't know if he posted it last night. I just saw it right now. It's like 5 in the morning on a Sunday. Rest in peace to Biggie Smalls. It's the day he passed away, October 9th. So I just want to get that out there as well. Now, what I saw was he had basically said that he was going to be going in on Jewish people. I don't know what that means. I don't know what his intention is. Michael Rappaport is who posted it on his IG, and he said he would be waiting. And I looked in the comment section. There was just a lot of people, doing what they're going to do in regards to natural response to that. Calling Kanye anti-Semite, saying, I wonder if he's teaching about the Holocaust at his Donda school and things of that nature. They just want to prepare themselves for what I'm preparing for, which is him jumping out of the window saying some things he probably should not say about people of their faith. And he said some things about their faith. He said, well, he can't be anti-Semitic as a black person because black people are Jews. And that's been something that's been considered to be disrespectful to the Jewish faith, even though I have literally yet to see anybody dispute that on paper. And I've talked to you guys about my ignorance in regards to this, but I've heard this, I've read this, and then I walk away from it knowing that I know not enough to hang my hat, right? This is where it comes down. It comes down to this. And from my little corner of the world, my little section, I think the most important thing we can do in regards to human beings is treat everybody as an individual, the way I want to be seen. I belong to a certain group, so in my individuality, you may be able to say he's a black man who feeds certain stereotypes. I like to eat chicken every day. I like to watch basketball. Stereotypes, right? I don't subscribe to them. And I also know that there are a lot of different types of people in certain groups. You might see a black person from Jamaica. You might find a black person who's never met anyone from Jamaica, etc. A million variables, no different than any other group. And so, with that understanding comes a whole lot of questions, because there are still more things that I don't understand in the situation. And what I don't understand is, when it comes to African American people, we have our culture out front and center. We have our history loud. The history is very loud. You know of our history because we've worn it on our sleeves, right? The fact that it's not talked about in schools is something that we talked about a lot. In various things that we want to see changed, we've made it known since we were freed that we were on the mission to find our balance and our whatever is best for us as a people. We've been looking for that since we were freed, and we've been loud about it since we were freed. So get it, you understand that I believe I'm aware of the black experience, not just because I'm a black man, but because it's been promoted to me my whole life. You were this, you were that, this is your culture, this is what your people like, this is what they don't. These is who you are, America. Not only have I been defined by these, whoever's telling me this, the people in position to share this with me, who broadcast these messages to me, but also in my own life. You know, you just, when you live amongst your own people, you have an understanding of your culture, you have an understanding of how your culture is viewed, right? Just based on your position. When it comes to the Jewish faith and Jewish people, I have very little loud, so to speak. If you're following me, the English isn't coming together, but I hope it's making sense nevertheless. It's not a whole lot of loud images and messages, and I'm not going to say people around me, because that doesn't count. And what I mean by that doesn't count is the images of African Americans that I've seen on TV. It's been displayed to me. Even if I didn't have any in my life, I still have that image to help me understand who they are as a people. When it comes to Jewish people, I don't have them grouped together in something tangible. I have some faraway stereotypes that I have been told a lot of the time are very disrespectful, as most stereotypes are. Money stereotypes, clothing stereotypes, ways that maybe they pray, different things that will define groups and stuff. This is what I have for the Jewish people. I got stereotypes. I have different interactions of people that I've met, because I grew up in a certain neighborhood where we would see a certain facet of Jewish people and how they dress and how they walk. So I've seen the energy that they exude. I know that some of their culture has it so that they won't drive in certain situations, certain distances from their synagogue, stuff like that. That's my experience, right? It's very limited. And I see on TV, the stereotype is they're in high places of power. They're usually your lawyers, your doctors. They tend to find themselves in positions that academia would allow you to propel to without going to college and focusing in on school in a very serious way with a lot of backing. You won't have what that stereotype's educational system is described. You got to be able to have some money, and you got to be able to pour your all into your academics at the same time in order to reach the pinnacle of what it is that stereotype provides. You understand what I'm saying? You can't get there, black person, not unless you know some people or you got a whole lot of money in your back pocket. Right? So this is what we've been told. The where they are, we can't reach. You gotta understand this. Already they're being told to me that they are above me. Not in a way that white people are, no, because in a way they are also supposed to be respected just like the black people, because they went through the Holocaust, and then the Holocaust was like a vicious mass murdering and torture, right? So they are in this culture considered to be the one people who black people can't say, we went through worse than you, right? That's the way it's supposed to be understood in this surmising of what it is in this country for me to see the image of Jewish people. Now, mind you, this is my perception, right? This is not something that someone came down to me from heaven and say, this is what it is and you better believe it. No, this is what propaganda and my overall surmising of 38 years in Los Angeles has shown me about the image of the stereotype of their people. I can't get there. I can't look at them as white people like I would look at white supremacists and say, you guys did something to me, right? That's not no. They are to the ones who went through what you went through. But the way we're supposed to perceive it as black people in this little scenario I got in my head, they rose from what it is we couldn't, and for that we should be ashamed of ourselves, because look at what they were able to do in their plight, and look at us. Why can't we be like them? Right? Messed up position. But this is the environment for which the mindset of my mindset. I'm not gonna talk to nobody else's mindset, because we trying to fix my brain. This is what it looks like. This is exactly where we at. Don't talk to them about your plight in slavery, because they went through worse than that. Don't talk to them about what it means to come up out of tough times, because they didn't went through the same thing you went through. And they're in a much elevated position that you ain't get to because they worked together, they stayed closer to their God, and they didn't get involved in the various things that ultimately implode their people. But what I understand is that we had a special attention placed on us as people. Maybe it was because we were loud, maybe it's because we had the relationship with this country that we did, where we were slaves, and there was a lot of different stuff going on emotionally that would make people angry at one another. I think those who were in position to put certain obstacles in our way in America for us to not only perceive ourselves but also navigate our way through academia, through the various obstacles, so that we can reach the pinnacles that we see maybe some Jewish people reach. This is almost as if we're in this position to where we're supposed to just look at them and say, that's where we want to be, and it's our fault we're not there, even though the history tells us that we had a certain level of attention placed on us to stop us from reaching those levels that maybe they never had. A certain propaganda that painted a picture of who we are as human beings that maybe was never even attempted in regards to them. I think we're living in two different worlds. I would never compare the Holocaust and slavery because my limited information won't allow me to surmise a real opinion. I don't know enough about their situation. I need to learn more about ours before I can sit up and say who's worse. But what I can say is I don't know that the Holocaust lasted 400 freaking years. I don't think it did that. I don't think it did that. In the limited knowledge that I have about the Holocaust, I do not believe it lasted 400 years. So when I hear people say they went through the same thing we went through, or that their situation is the same, I'm offended completely. I'm just gonna tell the truth. As a black person with Native American roots and Caucasian roots, I'm offended. I don't like that notion. I don't like it at all. I don't think we should be seeking balance in regards to suffering and atrocities such as that. But when assessing balance, we need to not assume that that was worse than that, in my opinion. We need not. I guess what I'm saying as an African American person is I want more respect. And maybe I need to do more to earn that respect. But I don't like the notion that I can, in this country, be looked at as lesser than anyone. And I don't like it that anyone can be put in a position to where it can appear as if I'm supposed to expect that they're supposed to be more than me for any reason. Any reason at all. Simply because it's an African American person, I look at my ancestors and the history that we have and the things that I know of that we went through, and I don't think we should be cowering at anybody. I don't think we should be down to anybody. I don't think we should be having to watch our mouths in regards to speaking about any groups of any kind on this land. Now that does mean we have a responsibility to hold ourselves in good energy, but as it pertains to me having questions, and as a black person supposed to be just out of bounds in asking questions about other groups, and when those groups may have the right to ask questions about me and not be given that same look like, yo, you better respect them. Nah, I'm not rolling. I'm not rolling. The God in me won't let that happen. Not as I walk the earth as a black man. That's not gonna happen. Like I said, I love everybody. I love Jewish people. I got Jewish people that I can think of right now that I've known. Not enough of them, unfortunately, but that I've known, that have given me enough in my heart to say they've left an impact in my life that allows me the confidence to say what I'm saying right now. You know what I'm saying? Confidence that was instilled in me by people that I've known, that have told me that my voice was worthy of speaking, that I can speak in love and still have difficult conversations. Some of those people that gave me that confidence were Jews. Kid you not. And what I'm saying is, in my mind, I want to live in a world where we look at everybody the same way in terms of reproach and respect spiritually, because that's what this is about, in my humble opinion. The spiritual respect that are paid to Jewish people are not paid to other people. It's not. You can talk bad about a black woman all day long. You can smear her image on television all day long. And maybe she'll play into it depending on the circumstance. Maybe she's enjoying the exploitation of her body and her image. You will see that image a million times before you see that image of a Jewish woman. Now, that doesn't mean that a Jewish woman may not desire to twerk or be seen that way or have that culture in her heart. But the point is, the machine will never put her in a position to be displayed in that way. It's not going to happen. And what I feel in my heart is that if you're a people who have the power, if the stereotypes are true, and I do believe a lot of what is taking place is aligned here. Lawyers, people in positions of power, people who are head of Fortune 500 companies who have the money to pour into the marketing that will display groups in a certain way, exploit groups in a certain way. They have the strength in their numbers to help others in ways that would allow for so much more clarity on the spirit of their people. Clarity, as in, do you love us? Do you hate us? Since it appears you have all this power and you are above reproach, what is your intentions on the people who are not of you? That's what I have to say to those in position to hear what I'm saying. Because it seems like every human who's walking the earth, especially those on this planet, on this land, are afraid to open up the conversation here in this regard. I am not. I'm not. I think I'm the one person alive, maybe the one person ever, who will honestly say I love Jewish people, and I do not know why the stereotype of them is that they're better than me. I do not know. Is it because they've been in a position to build their way out of their struggles and ultimately have the power that they have? Is it because they've nestled themselves in positions? And this is stereotype speaking, so if it's disrespectful, that's what the disclaimer was for. Because I don't like disrespect. I can imagine the homeless person who's Jewish on the street. I can imagine the homeless person who ain't never met a Jewish person who had $1 in their life, who would love to just be in a position to receive the speech that I'm speaking about. They don't know nothing about that. I can fathom you. I see you. You exist to me. That's the most important thing. When we talk about these stereotypes and start talking about who's this, that, and the third, I want people to know that I can envision a person who doesn't fit in that box. And I think a lot of people who have these conversations cannot. I'm not like that. You exist. Just hold on for a second. That's all I'm asking. But what I'm saying to everybody with love in my heart, is a black person who's still learning about himself, who doesn't have his life in order, who has a lot of things he needs to learn, who doesn't have context for a lot of things, just knows he needs to seek it. I'm in a space at 38 years of age where I'm waking up in the morning. Some random stranger that I pray for every day is about to open his mouth and say something very disrespectful, it seems, about people. And I'm jumping ahead of that to say, I don't know what he's about to say, but this is what I have to say. I don't know what he has to say, but this is what I'm about to say. I love everybody. And I wish that black people, Spanish people, Asian people, people from Jordan, people from Africa, people from Thailand, Singapore, Hungary, Turkey, South America, everywhere. I wish they had the aura about them that Jewish people have in this country. Because that aura to me is above reproach, only respect, We can't touch them because they can touch us in every way, shape, and form, the ways that matter. In the ways that matter. In our doctor's office, when we need to make sure we're cared, we need to make sure that we respect them. When we're trying to get out of lawyer situations and we need people to help us out of those situations, we need to make sure we respect them. When we're trying to get certain things done in regards to investing dollars and we're hopeful that we can get our message spoken of, we better make sure we appeal to them. This is the stereotype. And I say stereotype with a question mark because this is what it seemed like. What you got to understand is, even though I'm limited in my understanding, because I grew up in LA, I've been around people who've put this out there for me to listen to. Hey, they own this. Hey, yo, that person, yeah, they own that. That last name, that's a Jewish last name. They're at the top of that. Hey, that person over there, yeah, your lawyer, that's a Jewish name. They're at the top of that. And what it is you don't talk to them, and they don't talk to you. You don't pray with them. They don't pray with you. But when it's time to do business, if you have your money right, they'll do business with you. And they'll be sweet about it too. They're going to be sweet. It's not like they're going to be mean people. They don't have that, you know what I mean? I don't get the energy that they want to do something bad to me. Nah. They just want to do their business, get back to their stuff, and strengthen their own people. And my thing is, if you're the leaders, why are you only strengthening yourself? Why don't you see the fruit in helping everybody else? And that ain't limited to y'all, but since y'all at the top, in my little scenario, should there not be a more of a reaching out if you're the leader? I was taught, if I'm the leader, if I'm running stuff, if I'm at the top of the pile, if I'm the top of the food chain, then I gotta be the guy who has the wisdom to understand that in order for us to be the best world we can be, other groups need to be strong around me. I can't be the only one eating. I can't be the only one who's respected in the land. Everybody else is disrespected. Everybody else look a certain way. Everybody else can get talked crazy about. But let them come to you. Let somebody say the slightest disrespect to you, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, hold on. Now, you can do that to the blacks, you can do it to the Spanish, you can do it to the whites, you can do it to... You can't do it to the Jews. Nah, you can't do it to us. We're the holy people. You can't do it to us. But then, when black people say, yo, I saw something I read. It said, y'all ain't y'all. We y'all. When that comes out, I don't hear nothing. When those rumors come out, the first thing I hear from them is, you're being disrespectful, black man. Am I? Or have I discovered something that's been hidden from me, just like everything else about my history? Are black people the real Jews? Are the people y'all stole from Africa the real people of Judah? That's the question. That's what I'm here to offend everybody with. Is it really us? Because when I look at white supremacy, and I look at the history, what I'm being told, yeah, that totally adds up to something they would do. That totally adds up to something they would do. Say it isn't. Tell me they wouldn't pretend to be someone they're not for 1,000,000 years. Tell me they wouldn't. When they came to America, saw the place was not India, and called the people there Indians. Why would I think they're above pretending that there's something they're not? I'm not supposed to think this. These are things I'm not supposed to think. As a black person, I'm supposed to say, yo, we don't question that. We need to focus on yourself. You out here shooting yourself, you spinning the block. All your black people want to either twerk and do all this and that, the third, all that. Okay, fine. When I look to the root of my problem, I'll say, okay, my people are acting a certain way, but we don't have any power. We don't have any power. When was the last time you seen a black person move liquor stores into the community? We don't have that power. When you last time you seen black people bring guns into the community? We don't have that power. We don't have the reach to get the guns. The guns got to be brought to us, and then we can sell them. The drugs got to be brought to us, and then we can sell them. The liquor got to be brought to us, and then we can drink it. Who's bringing this stuff to us? I ain't gonna assume it's the Jewish people, but when I look at the top, I know it could help. I know it could help. I know who ain't gonna help us. And see, that's the bigger picture. That's the bigger picture. If you guys know what we went through, you went through the same thing we went through. You went through the hell we went through. Holocaust, slavery, same thing. You went through the hell we went through. And you're in a position, if, this is just if, my little ignorant position, please stay with me. If you're in a position to really help us, and you're watching the whites kick our tails for 400 years, 300 years, or however long it's been, you ain't help? No help? You can't take some of those Jewish dollars and pour it into those black communities? You can't help? Because we know white supremacy ain't gonna help. They did this to us. You didn't. You're not them. You're on the sideline with all the power and the money. They respect you. Hell, they're afraid of you. You couldn't help us? It's a conversation I've never heard before. This is a conversation no one in my life has ever said. I ain't never heard it. In my whole life, I've never heard nobody say this. Why? Why have I never heard this? Everybody's afraid to ask? Everybody's afraid to hold them accountable or hold them to approach or whatever the word would be. Everybody's afraid to look at them and say, yo, what's up? I'm not. Why? Because I know the living God. I talk to him every day. No one's above me, just like I'm not above nobody. And those with a lot, they're supposed to be doing a lot for others, not for themselves and only themselves while everybody else rot. And then say we doing it for God. That ain't for God. We're doing it for self. Whatever Kanye gonna say, if he ain't saying that, he ain't saying enough. That's the truth. Based on my ignorance, of course. Ignorance. I don't, and I'm speaking not just to Jewish people, black people, white people, I'm talking to myself. I don't want to do business with anybody that doesn't have the most basic desire to see me live at the very least. If you're only here to take, and the only thing you're willing to provide is what it is that the service and the money will provide, then we're transactional only in nature. There's nothing here to keep us honest with one another other than the presence of one's desire to make $1 or $2. Is that the thing that God is teaching you? He ain't teaching me that. When I pray, that's not what comes to me. Nah. That's not what comes to me. When I look in my heart and I look at what love is, it ain't watching others suffer while my team gets stronger. That's human nature. That's done out of fear. People do that because they fear the other group's getting bigger, they're gonna destroy them. They fear that if the group gets bigger, they're gonna bleed into them and take over them. That's insecurity. There's no faith there. That's not God. God would never tell us that. God knows we're gonna be stuck on the same slab of land for years to come. So we're all gonna end up intertwining and mingling, and all of that's coming. You cannot sit in the corner of the earth, feed yourself, control all of the stuff that matters, and then expect people just gonna shut up forever. It's never gonna happen like that. Eventually, people like myself gonna start saying, what's up with you? Do you love us? Do you like us? Do you respect us? Do you hate us? What is it? Because when someone like myself brings this to the conversation, we get blackballed, we get shut down, no conversation about it. And I'm saying, nah, that's not love. That's not love. That's not love. I don't know what it is, but it ain't love. So that's what I gotta say, man. I don't know what Kanye gonna say. Probably some other stuff has something to do with something on his mind. I don't know. Who cares? I honestly don't care what he's going to say. I'm just glad that he did what he was going to do, so it brought me to say what I was going to say. Because I want to understand and I want to feel loved, especially when I feel exploited. Not by them. Not by them. They didn't necessarily exploit us, but they sure as hell didn't put a stop to it. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to mean it. I understand that Jewish people are not white, but they walk around white skin. They do. They walk around with white skin. so they can blend in. They can walk away and say we're white, and that be it. They're still gonna get treated terribly in a lot of cases. I've seen that. But at the end of the day, black don't rub off, man. It don't rub off. And a lot of disrespect that we get is simply because of this. It ain't because of this. It ain't because of this. It ain't because of culture or none of that. It's because of this. Something that does not rub off. We get exploited, treated like we're not holy or whatever the case. We get all kinds of different energy that ain't respectful. When we provide the most, the very most inventions, culture, all kind of stuff. And people can say, yo, you could say, no, that's not true. Hey, if you want to dispute that, give me some evidence. Hey, I'd love to be wrong, but we contribute plenty. And as far as I could tell, the most. We get treated the worst. In my opinion. The worst. Tired of it. Tired of it. Maybe you'll say, oh, you're just jealous of the Jewish people. You were treated the way they were treated. Maybe if that's the way it's coming off, okay, you can say that. I think it's relevant. I don't feel that in my heart, but I think that's a relevant response to what I'm saying. I'll take it. But at the end of the day, what I don't like is the response Kanye gets when he's about to say whatever he's about to say about their people. Now it's like, oh no, you can't do that. Oh, wait a minute. But y'all talk about Lizzo every damn day. Y'all talk about all these different black people that y'all think are entertainment figures, that y'all think are entertainment. Spinning tops. Freaking stuff that's supposed to entertain you. We're not that. We have the gift to do that. Which is why I say we bring so much. Because y'all can sit there and watch us and keep yourselves entertained all day long, all night long. It's a gift we have. It's not our duty. It's one of the things that we can do. It makes us super. Makes us holy. I get frustrated, man. Why people can survive things that a lot of people cannot survive physically. We can stand in the sun, 150-degree weather. We will survive. We're the last people here. But we don't get respected for nothing, man. Tired of it. Tired of it. That's what it really comes down to, man. I want the same respect everybody else get. I want the same respect the Jews get. Period. Enough. Ain't deeper than that. And I got love, man. I got love. But if you're not going to come to the defense of a black person when they talk crazy about, when a black person's getting talked down about, when you ain't going to come to the defense of a Mexican person when they get talked down about, if you ain't going to come to the defense of an Asian person when they get talked down about, I see people discard people in the areas where war-torn events are taking place, where there's a lot of sand and hot weather, and people get discarded of. They don't give them half the respect they give me. Real talk. If we're not gonna come to the defense of those people, the same way we come to the defense of the Jewish people, we're not doing the right thing by our people, whoever they may be. If in your mind, your heart goes to a more offended place, then this conversation was for you. If you get to a more offended place when you hear someone say the word anti-Semitic or anything that may seem anti-Semitic, but your heart is comfortable when you hear the N-word coming out of a non-black person's mouth, this conversation's for you. We got to unlearn certain things that were taught to us, images that were given us a certain true north that we're supposed to have that doesn't actually give us any understanding of what it is that's really around us. That's the importance of the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, in my opinion. It gives us an image that they want us to think is calm. Wanted us to think is a calm and safe image, and helps us understand what's actually behind the eyes of an individual that may look like that sometimes. That is why racism don't make no sense. That's why this position that I see taking place don't make no sense in regards to people respecting others and others maybe not so much, because you got Jeffrey Dahmers walking around. You don't know what these people's real face actually is underneath the skin. You don't know. You just respect them because they belong to a certain group. Come on. So if their features look as that of someone from a certain group, they're automatically in that group in a lot of cases. How does that work? Like I said, black don't rub off, so I can't pretend to be something I'm not. That's the problem with that. That's the problem with that. Anyway, God bless the Jewish faith, man. God bless the Jewish people. I ain't got no problems. I got nothing but love for everybody. That's the point. I want to see love be reached everywhere. The same way that I see some get it, I want everybody to get it. The same way I feel like I'm getting love from you, I want to see the people in those places that I'm talking about get that love. These people in Saudi Arabia, they deserve that, man. They deserve to be respected the same way. And people that y'all don't think nothing of. Muslim people. You don't think nothing of them. I listen to how people talk about Muslim people in this country. It's disgusting. Disgusting. The way they describe Muslim people and the wars that they've engaged in, you would think they was Christian people. The type of wars we've engaged in. Overall, like we any better. No better. And that's the point. None of us are any better. And stop this. They're not more holier than you. They're not more holy than you, and they're not more holy than me. And I'm not more holy than any of y'all. Enough of this. So that's what I gotta say, man. If that gets me flagged, then it just proves my point. If this gets me pulled down, then it just reinforces what it is I'm saying is real. This should be left up here. If you're a person of Jewish faith, you shouldn't have no problem with what I'm talking about. Because there's love here. I want to see y'all continue to get respected the way that y'all respected, and I want to see the respect that others are supposed to receive reach the level that you're getting. And I want to see you help us get that. And I don't think anybody on the outside is going to say it but me. I love us all enough to do that. My name is BDF 44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.